Hey everybody, welcome back to No Jumper News. It's Adam22 here with your co-host AD. Let's get right into these stories. So first things first, 2 years after Tyler, the Creator, and DJ Khaled's rivalry on the Billboard 200, Tyler has explained that his album's victory was similar to just watching a man die inside. On Hot 97's morning show, Tyler, the Creator, sat down with Ebro, Laura Stiles, and Peter Rosenberg to discuss his new album, Call Me If You Get Lost. During their conversation, Tyler reflected on the release of his previous album, Igor, and DJ Khaled seemingly throwing shade at Tyler when the album beat Father of Assad for the #1 spot on the Billboard 200 chart back in 2019.
Bro, that Khaled thing was like, it was fun. It was just watching a man die inside because the guy that, you know, the weirdo was winning. I was moonwalking in a wig. This nigga had everyone on his album. Everyone.
Tyler went on to say that Khaled's ego was damaged after coming in second place.
So for some guy like that to kind of indirectly be like, that ain't real rap, that ain't real black music, that's what it felt like. And I was like, my nigga, don't do, but I didn't say nothing. I just let that #1 speak. The nigga ego had to deal with that because his whole identity is being #1. And when he didn't get that, that sat with him longer in real lifetime than that moment. I moved on. The nigga ego was deflated. He'll probably never admit it.
Tyler's Igor took the top spot on the Billboard 200 back in May 2019 with roughly 165,000 total album equivalent units sold in its first week, while DJ Khaled's Father of Assad debuted at #2 with about 136,000 total album equivalents units sold. It's nice to hear Tyler finally having some words about this subject, because I did think that this was one of the more fascinating things to play out in terms of sales in the public eye over the course of the past couple years, in that Tyler just absolutely trouncing Khaled's album sales. It really does say a lot about the state of the game and where things are at right now when you have an artist like Tyler who doesn't make music that sounds like anything that's popular out there right now, coming in and just absolutely destroying somebody like Khaled, who has all the biggest stars all over his project. And it's funny to see that Tyler's actually like super aware of it, because previously this was like a conversation playing out on Twitter and we weren't 100% sure that Tyler was having as much fun with it as everybody else was who was observing it, but it's fun seeing that he's actually on board the same way we are.
Yeah, I'm glad he's being very vocal about it, because, you know, even on the West Coast spectrum, people don't never put Tyler in their top fives, and he's been successful for over a decade. He has a big fan base. The carnivals he does, the Camp Flognog, everything he's been doing is like real influential, and I don't feel like people really give him the right amount of respect. It may be too out of place or too weird to them and stuff like that, so he doesn't get looked upon and graded like the greats in music right now. And I'm glad that he was popping his shit. It shows his real human side. It shows that, you know, it bothered him, it got to him, and, you know, to get that off his chest was dope. It's gonna be a dope piece of media as well.
And we always love to see an older person in rap music who clearly is losing touch with the art form that he started out working within, and he's seeing the young kids come in and do their own thing and do crazy out of control stuff and having it just not really like pan out the same way that he would have liked. I mean, that's always going to be an interesting theme in rap music. Like, this shit just does not belong to the older generation. The kids are always going to do their own version of it, and it's just kind of fascinating seeing Khaled have to adjust.
Hell yeah. Next story. DaBaby backlash continues and has now entered its third week. DaBaby apologized on August 2nd after making homophobic remarks and comments about people living with HIV and AIDS at Rolling Loud Miami last month. But on Sunday, DaBaby caught a new wave of backlash once again after Twitter users noticed that the apology was deleted, leading many to question the motive behind his initial apology. Still, it remains unclear why his post was removed. In other DaBaby news, Kanye West apparently removed the remix of his song Nah 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 featuring DaBaby from streaming services. Over the weekend, while eagerly waiting for Kanye's Donda album to drop, fans noticed the Nah 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 remix, which was released last year and also featured 2 Chainz, has disappeared from Spotify, Apple Music, and Tidal. There has been no detailed reasoning about removing the track, but many believe the move is no coincidence given that Ye recently produced Lil Nas X's new single, Industry Baby. Kanye has spent the past 3 weeks working on his long-awaited Donda album, which he still has not released, but has previewed 2 dramatically different versions of the album at public listening events in Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz Stadium. The new release date is rumored to be August 15th, according to Apple Music's pre-order page.
I will say that I'm kind of surprised to see Kanye jumping in on the canceling of DaBaby by potentially removing that song for that reason, just because this is Mr. Anti-cancel culture. This is Mr. Buddies with Donald Trump. And for me to see him just, eagerly removing a DaBaby song from his iTunes or whatever the hell it is, I don't know. It just feels a little weird. It feels a little bit out of character. And I'm kind of surprised that he would be jumping on board with this kind of thing.
It's not that weird to me because if you think about when he first came out, people asked Kanye like basically where he get his style sense from, and he said like gay men a long time ago and shit too. So I mean, he's been somebody that embraced the LGBTQ plus community for the longest.
But can I bring up a certain tweet that has really become part of hip hop history? Bill Cosby innocent.
Who wrote that?
Kanye, you don't remember this? All caps, Bill Cosby innocent. All I'm saying is that if you were willing to give Bill Cosby that much room to make errors, large errors that have affected dozens or hundreds of different people, that doesn't mean that you also would like to extend a little bit of forgiveness to DaBaby. Like, I just don't really understand why Kanye would want to be at the front of the charge to cancel DaBaby when you have even somebody like Dua Lipa, who, granted, the song hasn't come off of her iTunes, but the radio stations and stuff have started to play the original version without DaBaby. But at least she didn't remove the song entirely from streaming services. So for Kanye to remove this song, which granted, I don't think anyone cared about this song because it doesn't even sound like a song I've ever heard of before. I'm sure maybe I heard it when it came out. I can't even remember. Probably I would think that I kind of listen to like every new Kanye song that comes out, although I haven't even made any sort of effort to listen to this new project, even though they've premiered it twice. Have you heard anything of it?
Somebody sent me a folder of one of the versions of the shit. And I didn't want to spoil it for myself, and I was like happy that he was changing everything too. So, but fuck you, Pirates, I don't want to listen to it.
I mean, I do find the idea kind of interesting of, you know, basically having that project exist out in public over and over and over, where like there's different versions that people have heard. Do I, with my current schedule, actually feel the desire to go and, you know, listen to multiple albums of an album before I listen to the final version? No, realistically, even finding time to listen to the final version of the album is probably, I'm only gonna have time maybe listen to it a couple times. So for me, that's just not me. And I feel the same way about people who are super obsessed with like, you know, leaking snippets and like, oh, listening to the leaks and shit like that. It just don't really like make sense to me given the way that I value my time.
Somebody sent me a fake Drake album too.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me get that.
I got you.
YouTube, do us a favor, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be back real soon with more news. Appreciate y'all.